to Rat Salad Review, and this is our final episode for now of Def Leppard, the discography of Def Leppard.
Yes, it is.
Because they released recently the volume 1, 2, and 3, and the fourth one will come out maybe next year, I hope, or maybe the year after, or whatever. And maybe we'll go into those. We'll see what happens. But right now, we just want to do discography, and it's been fun. Some of them. I'm
definitely
glad
some more than others. Yeah.
I'm glad this is the end. But Def Leppard's been they're basically the first band I ever got into, and if it wasn't for them, I would have never gotten into music, like I am now. So even though there's been some hard times listening to some of these albums, it's I'll always listen to Def Leppard, even if I don't like it or not. It's just one of those bands I'm never going to give up.
Yeah, our fandom goes deeper than just loving the hits. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the reason why we love them as much as we do is because they set such high standards with High and Dry, even On Through the Night. I'll say On Through the Night. So every album from On Through the Night through Hysteria, those albums are held in such high standards. And if we as fans didn't hold them in equal high standard, well, then what's that say about the band? Right. To us, they're not a flash in the pan. They're more than just a band. I mean, it's soundtrack of our lives, soundtrack of our youths.
Right, exactly. So, even though we do say some things that you might not agree with what we say, if we don't like certain albums or certain songs, just how we feel. But realize that, we still love this band regardless, even though they put out some albums that we don't care for or songs. So don't get upset. Don't take us too personally.
X was the hardest listen, but that's
was it?
X was harder to listen to than Slang.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Yeah, you're right. And we'll start with this now. The Sparkle Lounge. I really thought this was going to be a lot harder to listen to because I remember when this came out, and what's his name? The country guy, Tim McGraw.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first single. That was the first single that was released was 9 Lives. And when I heard that, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to hear Tim McGraw on a Def Leppard album. And I'm not a country music fan at all. And just knowing that there's a country music guy on a Def Leppard song, I'm just kind of like, oh God, what's going on now? But that song's actually not too bad.
It really isn't. It's very reminiscent of Armageddon, but
right. Yeah.
They seem to use that EEDA chord progression a lot since Armageddon.
But hey, that's the thing that works. But just starting off with Sparkle Lounge, you start off with the song "Go," and that's a pretty heavy song.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard them sound this heavy for quite a long time.
Maybe, where the hell they pull this one out of a rabbit's hat? Because it really rocks.
It does, and not a bad start. Pretty heavy song, probably heaviest they've done in a while. Like I just said, the chorus is a little too repetitive, but again, it's not a bad song. I think it's a very good album opener.
I agree.
But especially coming off of what we just listened to before. I mean, with the X and all that stuff. I'm glad to hear them back, kind of like in a heavy kind of thing going. 9 Lives, like I just mentioned, a song with Tim McGraw. Didn't see that coming with the country guy coming in there, but he made it work. He fits with the song. The song's pretty cool, catchy song. I remember hearing it on the radio. And really, when's the last time you heard Def Leppard really in rotation on radio? I don't know how much you listen to radio. I don't, but at work sometimes, it's always on. So.
I still hear Pyromania and Hysteria all the time on classic rock radio, but that's about it.
But you don't hear no new. I mean, sometimes I'll hear like Now once in the blue moon, but
this you do? What station?
Yeah, I've heard that on the radio before. I don't know what station's on my job, but I've heard that on the radio.
I'm trying to think, what was the last Def Leppard song I remember hearing on the radio? I think it was Promises, to be quite honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
But 9 Lives I remember being played on the radio quite often. So, it's pretty cool to hear that. And, I still listen to it from time to time. It's not one of my favorite songs, but I'm happy that it's at least a decent song for a change,
Yes.
I can deal with this one. Come On. Again, very repetitive with that chorus. At the end, I'm just like, all right, come on already. Enough.
No pun intended. Yep, someone put a little bit too much Shania Twain in the AC/DC, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
It was repetitive, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah. No, it's not terrible, but it's just a little repetitive. Very anthem like stadium type anthem song, so it's cool in that way because it's got like that get up and clapping kind of movement thing going on there. So it's not a terrible song.
No.
And then we got the ballad song "Love." That intro started off it just like a single note, and I'm like, wow, what is coming up with this song? It sounds pretty heavy, and all of a sudden just faded out and got acoustic and all lovey-dovey.
Very Queen meets Beatles.
Right. Yep.
And I enjoyed it. It was probably one of the standout tracks on the record, and it really shows the importance of Rick Savage, not just as a bassist, but as a songwriter. Mm-hmm. I think it's probably a shining moment, and I love the instrumental breakdown. I think it's one of the best they ever wrote and performed for a Def Leppard song. And all right, I'm going to flat out say it. It's my favorite song on the album.
Really? All right, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think that would be a favorite song, but yeah, like you said, it has the influence of Queen in there. I even hear like a little bit of ELO too as well. Yeah, I hear actually Queen. I hear like maybe some David Bowie stuff, Beatles stuff on this whole album. You know, you can even tell by the album cover. It's like even looks like Sgt. Pepper. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but this is the first Def Leppard album where I can actually say that I've enjoyed more than 90% of it, and that's I can't say that about any album since Hysteria.
Wow.
I'm shocked, but I gave it another listen today, and I was just like, yep, no, I stand by that.
It's funny because like when I first heard it, I kind of just dismissed it a little bit, you know, because by the time this came out, I was into so many other bands that were a lot heavier than Def Leppard. Sorry, I'm choking you.
Take that out. Careful. You okay? Drink some water.
My soda. I drank it all. I'm losing my voice.
I'm losing my mind. Go ahead.
I know. I hear you. Your daughter's running around. It's late.
Yeah. I don't want to cut this, but I might have to because she's not supposed to be up this late.
Why does your wife have control?
Because she's mom. And mom is good parent. Dad is bad parent.
You can't do that, man. You can't do that.
I know. Moving along.
What you want to keep going? You sure?
She stopped. All right. Let's keep going.
I don't even know what I said, though.
We were talking about, I said that this is the first album that Def Leppard's done where I could say I've enjoyed at least 90% of it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. And, you know, when I remember first listening to this, I listened to it once and I'm like, all right, I listen to other bands a lot heavier than this now. And Def Leppard kind of just like goes on a back burner for me a little bit. But listening to this, you know, for the last few days, it's not as bad as I remember it. And, you know,
yep.
Still not one of my favorite Def Leppard albums, but it's decent enough where they're kind of getting back into form, I guess, a little bit. Not really like back in their old days, but getting back into like, you know, you can actually listen to these songs, and they wrote these songs. You know, it's not like on X where you have other writers coming in.
Yeah, let's not discuss X anymore. Still traumatized.
Yeah. Tomorrow, meh, not really into this one. I thought Joe Elliott was going to do those, like, you know, that song Jeremy by Pearl Jam?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to start doing the same O's that he does in that song.
I'll say this about Tomorrow. If they had gone this direction with the album that we will not name, I would have liked that CD a lot more.
Really? Oh, so you like that song?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cruise Control, another song that doesn't do much for me.
So I think this song was written from Vivian's perspective of growing up in Belfast when the IRA was in battle with Dublin. And when I realized what it was about, I related it to the events at the time of living in a post 9/11 New York while remembering the events of that day and afterwards. I think Vivian really captures the lyrical darkness from his days in Dio with a Def Leppard melody. I didn't enjoy it at first, but until I started to think about it, I think Vivian wrote one of the deepest songs Def Leppard has ever done, and I have to say, well done.
Wow. Yeah, see, I don't look at songs that deep. You know, I don't get into the lyrical content. Sometimes it really depends on what the song's about.
Neither do I, but I mean, I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I guess
you probably just heard something.
Certain words were just hashtagged to me, and, you know, kind of put two and two together.
All right, I'll have to go back and read the lyrics then. Hallucinate. This one's pretty good. Very upbeat. The chorus section is really cool. I like the guitar parts during the chorus and that soul section as well. It's a pretty good song.
Why didn't you write this for X?
Right. And there's a lot of things on here could have replaced X songs, maybe the whole album. Only the Good Die Young. Just something about this song bothers me. It's kind of like too boy bandish, especially in that chorus. I don't like that whole that guitar like I don't like that kind of.
I liked it. I'm thinking Vivian's really shining on this record as a songwriter, and 2 for 2 for me with him.
Bad Actress. Another upbeat, fast-paced song, but again, just doesn't do much for me. Just too overdone by so many other bands. It's a very common,
It's an attempt at rewriting Run Riot. There is really what it is, but I didn't hate it. It's not my favorite track. I just liked it. It was just, it was kind of indifferent about it. So it was okay.
Yeah. I kind of had that feeling about most of these songs, really. There's really no terrible, terrible songs on here.
Right.
Come Undone. Don't like this one. Come Undone. Don't hate it or love this song. It's just there. Not bad. Just nothing really stands out. It makes me want to go back to it. Just wouldn't skip it,
I enjoyed it.
Of course you did.
I did. Sue me. I enjoyed it.
It's all right. You're allowed to like it. What did you like most about it, though?
I just think the songs were better. Like, I know Def Leppard really takes pride in being a band that writes pop songs with hard rock guitars.
Well, I mean the song.
Sorry?
I mean,
what do I mean? The song? Oh.
Yeah.
Come Undone. I don't know. I guess I just thought it was catchy. And, there wasn't enough for me to say that I dislike it. Like, I could listen to the album from start to finish and not skip a track.
Yeah. All right. Gotta Let It Go. What is with the word go?
I don't know.
Twice on one album. It's a bit much.
Twice on one album. Wow. Well, if you notice, there really wasn't that much collaboration between the band members on songs.
Okay.
Yeah, so
maybe somebody didn't realize we already have a song with "Go" in the title. Not that it matters, but still.
Well, you're gonna love the way the next album starts.
Yeah, I didn't get to that yet. But this one reminds me of something like U2 would do. Especially with that chorus. It's very U2-ish.
It is very U2-ish, and that is Viv's favorite band. He did mention that.
I did not know that. But not a bad ending to an album. I never really listened to that much. By this time, like I said earlier, I kind of had it with Def Leppard a little bit. And although I still buy their albums, it's just I've kind of moved beyond, the Def Leppard sound in a way. And yeah, but like I said, this album is really not as bad as I remember it being, and it's okay. I can deal with it. Even though I don't like every song, it's at least listenable and somewhat enjoyable. So
agreed. Now we have to wait for a 7-year gap between albums.
Yeah, it was a fairly long time, wasn't it?
Yeah, they did have the live album, Mirrorball, which had 3 new studio tracks on it. Yeah. Undefeated, I think, was the best one of the 3. By this point, they were doing a lot of package tours. They toured with Motley Crue, they toured with Poison, they toured with Kiss, they toured with Heart, they toured with Foreigner.
And they were doing the Vegas thing, right?
They did the Hysteria thing in Vegas too, yeah.
So they're busy. So I don't. I can understand why there was such a big gap, and then to see them actually come back with an album, I don't even remember them even saying they were coming out with a new album. I saw it on maybe like online somewhere that the new album was coming out, and it was like a few days beforehand.
I knew that they were recording it. I think it took just under a year, and I knew that I think at the time there was a bit of hesitation because that's when Vivian got diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. I forgot about that.
And at the time, he was also bringing back the era of Dio that he was a part of, sans Ronnie James Dio. So he was busy with that, too. So
yeah. Now we get into Def Leppard, same titled album. Funny enough,
simple album cover.
Very simple album cover. Got some shattered glass there in the logo. Very cool looking.
And I saw my reflection. Very nice.
And you did. You want me to show you again? So
No.
you can see what you actually look like? Because you don't really see a reflection very often.
Go ahead.
Don't get scared now. Oh boy, the things that we do while we're doing the show.
Yeah.
We're half awake.
All for you.
All for you people. And you better hit that subscribe button. So like the last album, there was a few songs with the word go in it.
In fact, one starts the album that way.
Exactly. Let's go. Finally, let's go. Not just go.
I have to say is one of their best opening tracks.
I know, right? I mean, finally, we get an opening track that's like really, really good. I mean, the funny thing is about this song, though, is this really Pour Some Sugar on Me played backwards?
Oh my God, you're right.
It has to be, right?
For the most part.
I think so. Because I recognize that that's backwards. It's got to be.
Well, what they were attempting with this album was basically taking the best elements of Def Leppard, packaging into one album, and this is what they give you.
Right. And it's definitely what we got. What else did I write here? Catchy song, very cool verses, really catchy chorus, very anthemic, something like you would find on Hysteria. It's very Def Leppard Hysteria type era song.
Definitely one to restore faith in fans that may have fallen.
Definitely is. Next song, Dangerous. You talked to me the other day. You said this is probably the best song that you've heard them write in a very, very long time.
Yeah, and I stand by those words. It's definitely my favorite track on the album. And I think in terms of their radio-friendly rock songs, yeah, it's the best one probably since maybe... I mean, it's the best single, I think, since When Love and Hate Collide. But in terms of rockers, probably a song light years better than like Let's Get Rocked, which was probably like their last biggest hit.
Right. I really didn't feel that way. I just felt it was just like a normal, regular song that they would have done anyway. It's a good song, though. It's not a terrible song.
That riff gets me, and the vocal melody is just perfect.
Yeah. No, it's a good song. I had no problem with it. It's good. Man Enough.
Shite.
This is basically their Another One Bites the Dust.
This song should bite the dust.
It's not bad though. It's kind of cool that what's his name, Rick Savage is doing something different on the bass. You don't really hear him do this kind of stuff. You know, usually he's just in the background.
Are you man enough to be my girl? No,
I know it's. We Belong. Decent ballad. Usually their ballads, I will cringe, but on this one I can handle this one. It's got a great chorus. It's not as cheesy as their usual stuff.
And it's the first time all 5 members sing on one song.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I noticed some different vocals going on there. They all sound very similar, though, which is very weird.
Yeah. Auto-tune magic?
I don't know.
Well, Phil's always sounded like Joe. Like, their voices are, like, perfectly similar.
Yeah. But, yeah, decent ballad. Invincible. I like this one, too. It's a little bit different for them, though.
You know what it reminded me of? Space Age Love Song from Flock of Seagulls a little bit. And I actually liked it.
Yeah. But, yeah, because it's different, you know? You don't really hear them do this kind of stuff too much.
Yeah.
It's just very plain. It's not, like, really doing too much. It's kind of staying in one spot, but I think it's pretty cool. Like, again, like I said here, nothing mind-blowing going on. But I like the guitar melodies before the verses come in. They got that, like, weird little, I don't even know what you call that. Some kind of melody going on there.
Yeah, I don't know what you call it either, but I liked it. So
yeah, it sounds really cool. Sea of Love. Don't like this one.
I was not impressed.
No. Energized. This song is anything but that.
More like laid on a mortician slab.
All Time High. Another song not really crazy about, but the chorus is very similar to the song She's Too Tough from Retroactive.
Yeah, and it definitely makes up for the last 2 songs for me.
Yeah, it does. Battle of My Own, pretty cool song with the acoustic guitars throughout most of it. Then the song gets very Led Zeppelin-esque towards the end of it.
At first, I didn't like the song, but then when that Zeppelin thing kicked in, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like when they do stuff like that. They do that well, That's what they do. Broke and Broken Hearted. Not bad, but not a song I go to often.
You know what though? I thought this could have been a Cheap Trick or a Kiss song from the 70s, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it could have worked.
It's like they finally wrote a song that could have literally been written by one of their heroes. Yeah. And aside from some cringeworthy lyrics, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Forever Young. Very upbeat song again, but nothing that would make me tell someone they got to hear this song.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was catchy, but I liked it.
Last Dance, another ballad. One thing I will say, I think this album has the better ballads than they've done in a long time. I can deal with these ballads.
Yeah, I wanted to hate it, but I didn't because, again, I thought the melody was really good. Bit contrived, but, again, good melody.
Yeah. Wings of an Angel. Pretty cool song, and sounds like something they could have done. That could have been a better song off of Hysteria. Like they, got rid of a shitty song and replaced it.
Finally, Vivian gets a song on the record, and I couldn't help but hear a little bit of his Last in Line band in there. Mm-hmm. Definitely some influence. Yeah. Third favorite track on the album.
Yeah. And then finally, Blind Faith. Not bad. Another half ballad type song that rocks towards the end. Pretty decent ending to the album.
Yeah, decent closer. It's not overture, right. But I'll say this. Even Def Leppard's worst songs are better than most bands' best songs. And this is not far from one of their worst.
No.
Good closer.
Yeah, good. But all in all, this is the Def Leppard album I'd like to hear more of. I think they did it pretty right on this album. They're kind of coming back to what Def Leppard is known for. I just shortened it down a little bit, though. 14 songs is a bit much, even though most of the songs didn't really go past 6 minutes. Most of them are like 3 to 4 minutes, maybe at the longest 5.5-ish.
Yeah. But at this point, Hysteria is still their longest running album.
Right. But this one seemed like it went on a little too long, But yeah, I think it's a good start getting back to what they're used to doing. And I remember seeing this out, like I mentioned earlier. Actually, no, I didn't mention this earlier because we did this twice. But I don't remember this album being like really advertised too much. So just seeing it was out, I was like, all right, I got to go get it and check it out. And yeah, I think it's kind of them getting back into form. And hopefully if another album ever comes out, that they kind of continue on this path and don't go do something crazy like a Slang or, a Now or something. Just stay on this path, please. Just improve.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why, and we mentioned that there was a 7-year gap between albums. At that time, they were doing Hysteria in Vegas. Vivian was unfortunately diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. At the same time, he was resurrecting his lineup of the Dio band that he was in without Ronnie, called Last in Line. So he was doing that. And they were busy. But, they, for about a year, they were working in Joe's home in Dublin. And I have to say, I think the time away did them good. I mean, it's really not a bad album. And again, the reason why I hold them to such high standards is because you look at their back catalog. I mean, 4 perfect albums in a row. So,
Yeah. And like I said, if it wasn't for Def Leppard, God knows what I'd be listening to now. So we owe a lot to Def Leppard. And also another thing Joe was probably working on too was the Thin Lizzy remasters, because I know he did a lot of that stuff too.
And Vivian was actually part of the resurrected Thin Lizzy.
Yep.
And he was also doing Down and Outs, which was his Mott the Hoople cover band, I think.
I recognize the name, but I don't know what that was. I thought that was like a solo thing though.
Yeah. I will say this though. So Def Leppard should be applauded for, although not having albums post Hysteria that may rank as high as the previous ones, still having the songwriting capability and sense of melodies that can hold up with their best work to this day. Misters Joe Elliott, Rick Savage, Rick Allen, Steve Clark, rest in peace, P. Willis, Phil Coleman, and Vivian Campbell have given us music to light our days, brighten our nights, and provide the soundtrack for summer flings, long-term relationships, and great get-togethers for eternal friendships. one of the best bands to come out from and break away from the new wave of British heavy metal. Proof that hard rock music deserves to be heard and enjoyed by the masses. They are worthy of the praise they get, and regardless of the lulls certain songs or albums may have had, X, we could look past that and say Def Leppard has always rocked. Doesn't matter if you call it pop or rock or metal. Def Leppard is Def Leppard. We're all better for it.
That's right. Yeah, and one last thing before we leave. I was thinking the other day, what do you think Steve Clark would have thought about like these new albums? Do you think that he would really be into this stuff? Or you think that Def Leppard would have kind of still stayed a little bit heavier, like, with the hysteria type thing? Or do you think he would have went along with this path that they've been on?
That's a really good question. It's no secret that Steve's favorite band was Led Zeppelin. And he made no secret that he was, believe it or not, influenced by bands like The Cure. So it's possible that, maybe they would have gone a more of like a Blood Runs Cold type direction with slang. It's possible that they could have grown on songs like Desert Song from Retroactive. I think that the riffs that Steve originally brought to the band, and I'm biased when I say this because Steve is my favorite guitar player from Def Leppard and favorite songwriter. I think his style would have probably led them through the dark waters of the 90s into today. But again, that's because I hold him on a high pedestal, and he never wrote a bad song for the band.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way too. But I don't think we would have got some of these out, especially now. I don't think that would have happened.
Probably not. Steve was the rocker.
Yeah, I think so too. But unfortunately, we'll never know. So we got what we got.
I will say this. I hold such a high torch for Steve. I mean, I know I say that, my favorite guitar players are like the ones that made me pick up the guitar. Eddie, Iommi, Randy, Richie Blackmore, Alan Holdsworth, and Michael Schenker and Dimebag Darrell. Steve Clark is right up there with them because he looked like a rock god. He really did.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when he died, man. That killed me because it was really the band I was really into the most at the time, and I didn't really know any other musicians that I was into at that moment in my life. I was only like 9 or 10 years old or whatever. But that was like 80. When did he die? 80.
He died in 91, January.
91.
January
91. All right, so I was 11. But yeah, I didn't really have any two other musicians' deaths, and just seeing that, I'm like, oh man, Def Leppard's over, and to see that they still continued and everything's cool. But
I thought they were over because I didn't know Adrenalize was going to come out until I saw a poster of it at Nobody Beats the Wiz on Steinway Street, and when I saw that, it's like I got so excited. I'm like, they're not gone, and but it's funny because for my birthday that year, October 91, my brother Mike, God rest his soul, bought me In the Round in Your Face on VHS. So seeing Steve, on video, my God, that did a lot to me. Just watching that as a fan. But I tell you, the impact of his death didn't hit me until I heard White Lightning for the first time. And I remember as an 11-year-old kid, that's the first time I ever remember like getting goosebumps and being overcome with the loss of a musician. I was too young to remember Cliff Burton. I wasn't a Queen fan yet, really. So this was it. And, my first guitar was a Les Paul because of Steve Clark.
Wow. Yeah, so see people, Def Leppard had such an impact on both of us. So don't take anything that we say about certain albums and certain songs to heart because, even though we don't like them or whatever, that's just how it is. And you can't like everything.
We'll always love them, though.
Always. But I hope everybody has enjoyed our little Def Leppard discography thing that we've done here over the last few episodes. And it's been fun.
It's always a pleasure with you, my friend.
Because like I say, what's that? Oh yeah, look at that, Project Resurrect, and I also have this too, but nobody can buy it except I'm the only one that has this. So don't go looking for a vinyl copy of Project Resurrect on Bandcamp.com. But I have plenty of CDs.
And if you're in Europe and you want to buy it, just contact Harry Barnett, the great Harry Barnett.
No, it's actually, if you go to Bandcamp, all that stuff is on there. They can just click the button for the European thing, and it's all taken care of already. So please go do that, and please visit ratsoundreview.com, and please visit
musicisLifepodcast.com.
And hit subscribe to Music is Life podcast on YouTube, and hit subscribe to Rat Sound Review on YouTube, and check out our podcast. I know I've been very slacking on all of our podcasting stuff except for everybody else's shows. Only ours, only the Rat Sound Review show, because now that we're doing it live most of the time, I just don't have the patience to download it and re-upload it and all that crap. So
but anyways,
bear with me.
It's late. We're going to bed, and one final.
That's it.
Salute for Def Leppard.
Salute Def Leppard, and we will see you guys next time on Rat Sound Review. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Night.
What?